Who here has had a near-death experience? Okay, more than I thought. All right. Who here believes in miracles? That's okay. Who here has a father? All right. Okay. So it's 5 o'clock, and I get on my bike and ride home to my wife and my 2 kids. And outside, my life looks perfect. I have making 6 figures at a dream job. We have multiple houses, and we're building legacy wealth. But inside, I'm slowly dying, and I don't even realize it. When I get home from work, I look for a way to decompress. And I do what I've been doing since I was a young kid, and I play video games, and I smoke weed. And by the time dinner's ready, I'm still not relaxed, and so I start drinking alcohol. And I want to connect to my family, but I don't know how. I'm so full of anxiety and depression, and my body is full of inflammation and pain. Outside of work, I feel like a zombie. And all of these habits have been built up, and they have been so normalized that I don't even realize that they're wrong. I don't even realize what's going on with my life. And this continues until I really just can't take it anymore. And in a moment of, I pray to God. And I say, "Dear God, please help me to feel good again. I'll do anything. I'll give my life to you." And what I want to invite you into is the possibility that what you are avoiding is exactly what you need for joy, freedom, and purpose. And what I'm talking about are emotions. So my name is Jake Trigg, and I lived a life that I'm not very proud of, and I wasn't a very good role model for my children. And I experienced had complex PTSD growing up since a very young child, and that led to anxiety, depression, addictions. And although my life was successful on the outside, inside I was just crumbling. All of that changed one day when I was suddenly hit by a car and I died. And when I came back to life, suddenly all of these emotions that I had repressed were in my body, and I could feel them. I had never felt that much fire before. And that anger that I had repressed for all of my life, it came out, and it hurt the ones that I loved. I was trying to speak my truth, but it came out as abuse. And fast forward to now. Life now looks very, very different. Now I am a proud father who's present and safe with his kids. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a musician. I'm also a leader among communities around the world. And I'm a best-selling author. Come on now. Yeah. As well as I lead a men's group. And I've become attractive to women that I used to consider out of my league. And there's more. But most important, I'm a proud father and incredibly present and active in my kids' lives. And it all goes back to that moment of prayer. And when I prayed, the answer came to me in the form of coaching. And you all know one in particular coach who's here in this room today. Jamin, thank you. I credit a lot of his work with what has helped to turn my life around. And now I help other people do the same kind of changes that I have made, in addition to healing trauma. Like one woman who her voice was locked for 18 years and she could no longer sing. And I worked with her, and now she's singing and she's expressing and sharing her soul with the world. And I've helped men to increase their income, to have the highest record months of revenue that they've ever had, and as well as helping fathers. One father recently thanked me he had the best weekend of his life with his kids. And so, what's the secret? How did all this happen? For me, it is about emotions. And their studies have shown that emotional charges only last for 90 seconds, if they complete. Anything beyond that is holding on to it or beliefs that are formed around those charges. And maybe you've heard about what happens when you don't listen to guidance. At first, guidance begins as a whisper. And then it gets louder and it says, "Hello, are you going to listen to me?" And then it gets louder and it says, "Listen to me." And then it hits you upside the head with a 2x4. For me, that 2x4 was a car that hit me and killed me. And it doesn't have to be the same for you. In my journey, I studied a lot of different modalities and saw so much progress with emotions that I really went deep into that and wanted to understand it. And what I ended up coming up with is a framework that encompasses so many different modalities. And it is the DNA of emotions. And I call it the way of emotions. It's a play on the Tao, the Tao. It also has a misspelling, W-A-E, the way. It stands for witness, accept, and express. And what this does is it allows the charge to complete for emotions. And so I want to share that with you today. What I want to express about the way is it's each part is important, because if you just express, then it can come out like my anger and harm people. And if you just accept it, then you also can be abusing yourself and locked into those feelings, into the pain. And if you just witness, then you don't actually do anything about it. And so this is why all three are important: witness, accept, express. And now the order is not important. So for me, a man who had no access and no permission and childhood trauma that actually prevented me from expressing emotions, that made it fearful to even say that I have emotions. For me, it was so helpful to have this structure and this safety. But as I practice it, I don't need the order anymore. I've given myself permission just to go in and have tools in order to do it in a more holistic way. And so as you practice this, the steps can blend together and become more natural and organic. So the first step is to witness. So to witness is to be the awareness, to recognize that you are not the emotion, you're the awareness in which the emotion exists. And a good practice for this is simply to do check-ins, just to periodically throughout the day ask yourself, how do I feel? And the answer is not as important as the question as being the witness. The other important thing about being the witness is to identify where in the body that's happening. And this is going to ground you into the present moment, just as if you have pain in the body, to witness where exactly is that. Moving on to accept. To accept is to feel, to really allow yourself to feel the emotion. A statement you can say, if you're angry, I feel anger. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Now, this step isn't about mental. It's about getting into it and feeling it fully. The third part, express. Express is to move. Now, before the wreck that changed my life forever, I practiced yoga and meditation for 18 years. And so I was very good about being zen and being calm. And I looked up all these other methods around emotions, and so few of them have express in there. So much of the work is about being with the emotion and holding it. But we're here on earth with other people around us. We are meant to express. Life is an act of expression. And so that's why it was so critical that this framework has an expression component in it. If you look at kids, they naturally express, and how much trauma has been caused by tamping that down. And so this framework I've used with my kids, and I recommend it for parents in order to connect better with their kids as well. Because this framework is also about relating to each other. When one person is expressing, if the other person is a pure witness, allowing and accepting it, it creates a triangle, a trifecta for real connection. And I think that's where so many men go wrong, trying to fix or change the emotion. But really, if we can witness it and hold it and contain it, then that's where the real magic happens. Okay. So, what is possible for the world? By practicing the way, we can all come to more presence, and we can come to more joy, freedom, and purpose. And we can use this to form better relationships with our close ones, which will then cause a ripple effect into the world. And my wish for the world is that we are all free to choose. We are born with free will. And sometimes along the way, we forget that. What I've realized is I was choosing porn. I was choosing pot and video games. And I was choosing victimhood at the circumstances and conditions of my childhood. But now I've broken through that. And I've found joy, freedom, and purpose that I never imagined possible. And all that is possible for you as well. Ultimately, emotions are our connection to source. They are guidance beyond the conscious mind, which reveal the programs and patterns that are running beneath us. Practicing the way of emotions can resource us into our true power. And ultimately, then we can find the joy, the freedom, and the purpose that's always there to begin with. Thank you.
Yeah.